Hello everybody, it is me, Sardix Films here, and this video has been a long time coming. I honestly kind of forgot that I was planning on doing something like this. I've wanted to do it for a while now, and I honestly just remembered it while I was driving for work yesterday. Those long roads, those long drives, they make you think an awful lot. But I digress. So, Insurrection Season 4, the rest of the damn story. Like I said, this video is way overdue. It is, I honestly don't even really know where to begin, but where else can you begin other than previously on Bionicle Insurrection?
You found me, but I don't know what you wanna say.
Sir? I know you're in there. Are you okay?
Security man, Hello? Hello? Step away from the door, man. Step away from the door. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Insurrection Season 4 was supposed to be the last season of Insurrection, and I know I said that about Season 3. I mean, there were things... The way Season 3 ended is it left it open for possibilities if I ever wanted to come back. And honestly, now I look back at Insurrection. I know a lot of people look back on it fondly. I don't. I mean, Season 2 and 3 are my favorite. Everybody loves Season 1, and I appreciate that love. I'm glad that you guys like it. I don't. I was writing it when I was a senior in high school in 2017, and it is Sunday, May 12th, 2024. So it's been a long time. I have improved tremendously in my writing. Not that SMA is necessarily a beacon of that. But let's go ahead and start how Insurrection Season 4 came to be. I originally went back in summer of 2021. When I had really first gotten into contact with Rondax and Terron, I was like, because Rondax, like, he loved Insurrection, and I'm glad that he did. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, why don't I do an Insurrection anniversary and make a Season 4 intro? Not going to lead into anything, just something to give it a nod on the day that it came out. And I had full intentions of doing that, but at the same time, I was also kind of... I didn't want to because of the fact that all my Bionicles were up in the attic. This is before I brought everything down. This is before I came back. I mean, it was next spring, spring of summer, or late winter, early spring of 2022 when I decided I miss doing this, and I'm going to do SMA Season 2. So once I got that ball rolling, once I officially decided I'm going to come back, I will make an anniversary intro. And while I was getting ideas for Season 2 of SMA, I was like, what if I just made a 4th season of Insurrection? I mean, why not? What's stopping me? Do like 8 episodes, 6 or 8 episodes max. Doesn't have to be anything big. And why don't I go ahead and show you some footage here? We'll start with the intro, and then, or actually, no, we'll start with the trailer, and then we'll go with the intros later in the video. And mind you, again, there was very, very little footage that I do have. I filmed some sequences. This was before I moved, not to Texas, but when I was filming Season 2 of SMA, I had moved to another house. And this was kind of in the early stages of moving, and I was like, oh shit, I'm not going to have the big trees out back where, Zira and Sardix fought. I'm not going to have access to a lot of the locations. If I'm going to do what I'm going to do, I need to get some stuff filmed now. And so I threw together a rough storyline, and eventually just kind of made it into the scripts. But I got a lot of footage that was during like early spring of 2022, and I used that for the final episode or final moments of episode 1, and then the beginning of episode 2, and then I think the only things that I filmed after that was the very end of the show, because I was more focused on Self-Mock Adventures, and I wanted to focus on one thing at a time. So without further ado, here is the unfinished intro of Insurrection Season 4.
find you there. Pull away before your time. I can't deal, it's so unfair. And it feels like heaven's so far away. And it feels like where it's both goes now that you got away.
As I look back upon my life, it's always with a sense of shame. I've always been the one to blame. For everything I long to do, no matter when or where or who, has one thing in common too. It's a sin. It's a sin. Everything I've ever done, everything I ever do, everywhere I'm going to. It's a sin. It's a sin. It's a sin. A school that taught me how to be so pure in thought and word and deed. They didn't quite succeed. For everything I long to do, no matter when or where or who, has one thing in common too. It's a sin. Father, forgive me. I tried not to do it. Turn over a new leaf and tore right through it. Whatever you taught me, I didn't believe it. Father, you fought me 'cause I didn't care, and I still don't understand. It's a sin. It's a sin. It's a sin. It's a sin. It's a sin.
So with seeing that, the fourth season of Insurrection, the April Fool's trailer that I put out, that was essentially a it would have been not a hint, but it basically kind of was the actual concept trailer for season 4. A lot of people were like, "Oh, how could you do this?" And everyone's like, "Oh, he put so much effort into an April Fool's joke. Well, I feel betrayed." that was the rough outline of what I wanted to do with season 4 of Insurrection. It was, and I'm hypocritical for this, and everyone's a hypocrite, but me in this case nonetheless. I was like, oh, I'm so sick and tired of Marvel doing the multiverse shit. Well, here we go. I did multiverse shit. Attempted to. Basically, the concept is that, because at the end of season 2 of Insurrection, I announced that the show is not canon. And more or less, the reasoning for that was I had finished doing the Sardix movies, which are now chapters 1 through 3 of the first movie. I do plan on doing not a reformat. God, I can't even think of the word. A remastered version of the Sardix movies, but nevertheless, I'm getting off track here. I had just finished doing the Sardix movies, and I think after that, after that, I did Psychosis. I did Felix versus Tannerite. Then I did Psychosis, and I was like, I don't really want to keep doing my actual storyline. I want to branch out and like make new characters. I want to do something different. And then that fall, I was planning on doing something else, and I still wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And then I was like, oh, let's do comedy. And then I did the first season of SMA, and I was like, I still want to do something drama. I don't want to just do comedy, just because at that time I wasn't good at it. And I didn't think that I could pull it off, so Insurrection was born. I killed the comedy series, and then I turned it into a drama series. And Insurrection Season 4, again, Insurrection is not canon, so that was kind of my explanation for the killing the canonicity of it. And Insurrection Season 4 would have delved? I don't know. Proper wording escapes my brain. It's a Sunday morning. Regardless, Insurrection Season 4 is going to dive into the multiverse. We open up on Thyre, as you saw in the previously. We open up on Thyre from... It is Insurrection Season 3 Thyre. I had completely dismantled Insurrection Thyre, so I was like, I'm going to make a quick CCBS version. Like, who cares? It's red and white. People will know. And, he goes back to where Zero was killed. He finds her sword, he finds her mace, and he's like, okay, I need to do something. I can't keep living like this. And at this point, it's like, I didn't really have explanations for it, but, he does time travel back to the night Hydrix and Rockhex and Tech were killed, and he stops that. That's at the very end of Season 3 of Insurrection. And at the beginning, Thyre's kind of like, okay, I can stop this from happening in other universes. So I'm just going to go around, and he starts going around to different multiverses, and he's stopping Satrix from doing, and it's one of those things where it's like, Cam and I had this discussion where Adventures of Tech and Insurrection were supposed to be connected universes. And then after what happens in Season 2, he's like, oh shit, like all those characters are still alive in my universe, I can't. So basically, Insurrection happened in Adventures of Tech, it's just a different timeline. So it's similar events, just a different multiverse, kind of a thing. And so Thyre starts going back in time, he starts doing this, and we have three new characters show up. There is Zaya, Tim, and Aaron. Now, they kind of were like, the way the show starts off, it's like they're trying to stop Thyre. They're like, hey, you can't be doing this. Like, you are fucking everything up royally in the timelines, the multiverse, universe, whatever kind of a thing. And they attack him at the beginning of Episode 2. We see them at the end of Episode 1. We'll show some footage here for you. but they are kind of the villains of more so anti-heroes to Thyre. You know, Thyre comes in, he's like, oh, okay, everybody loves Thyre. You know, like, we know Thyre's back. We're rooting for Thyre. And this is kind of where it got a little tricky. I wanted to branch out into, like, actually making it look like different universes. I had talks with Jake where I was going to potentially be sending Tim, Zaya, and Aaron to him in his actual timeline. Be like, hey, like, this is what's going on. We're after a multiversal teleporting dangerous criminal kind of a thing, and that obviously never happened. We had talks about it happening, but I was willing to send my mocks to people to get the idea of, like, oh, these are actually multiversal travelers kind of a thing. Knock that point across. But because Season 4 of Insurrection was going to be only like a couple episodes, I kind of had to restrain myself to not doing super big plots. But I think the total episode count would have been 6 episodes. And that was it was the good half and the bad half. And what I mean by that, I can actually show you in the first intro for Insurrection Season 4.
Why I always gotta be afraid. Yeah, I'm sick of all the stomach aches. Always dizzy, haven't eaten nothing. Always sleeping, haven't seen nobody. Out here living in the Wild West. A lack of confidence is when I'm at my best. I'm just a bird not trying to fade away. Like a moth drawn to the flame. They talking shit, ain't quick enough to block a no. I'm getting hit, falling down, so I'm staying low. I feel it's all for nothing, I'm feeling all alone. That voice is saying something, it's saying welcome home. I miss my mom, I miss my friends, I miss it all, but in the end, oh, the world keeps spinning, oh, the world keeps spinning. I'm feeling lost, I'm feeling dead, I feel it's all maybe in my head. Whoa, the world keeps spinning, whoa, the world keeps spinning.
So, as you have seen in that intro sequence, it's really starting off with Thyre, like, he's not in a good place mentally. He's alone. He has no one really to be with. And I originally, because with the whole anniversary intro idea that I had, I wanted to incorporate Rondax and Terran into Season 4 of Insurrection and have them kind of be like Thyre's, friends to an extent, but like he was working with them just because Terran can, from what I understand, jump between multiverses kind of a thing. But I eventually left that out because I thought it would have been better if he was alone, just due to the fact that, like, it would have made a much bigger impact on him. And like I explained before I showed the intro, is the he's going back in time, and it's the good half. This is where we think Thyre is doing good, and I think episode 2 kind of opens up in a different multiverse, and it was really heavily inspired by Jake's episode of Adventures of Zemanak. I think it's episode 4. I want to say it's episode 4, where Zemanak sits down with Biohero. I was really inspired by that kind of music, the exact music that he used, and it's Zemanak with a son, and Rockhex and Felix, and they're talking about, like, this is a different multiverse, obviously, different outcomes of Insurrection seasons 1 and 2. And then, like, once we have that little touching moment, like, it pans over and we see Thyre in the background. It's like, damn, he couldn't have saved this this multiverse's Sardix and Hydrix kind of a thing. Well, this is where it starts to get a little interesting. Is the next episode, and this is something that I was kind of also thinking of with Insurrection Season 4, is Insurrection Season 4 was almost SMA Season, I think it would have been Season 2.5, because I was doing SMA Season 2 first, and there were a lot of things in Season 2 of SMA that set up some events that would have played into Insurrection Season 4, like Episode 5, when Rondax is talking about Insurrection and his legs turn into Thyre's legs. Rondax was supposed to take over and voice a version of Thyre. And the pill saying, like, you're more connected to this story than you think. There will be a shattering of the space-time continuum. And then the whole spider episode with Tannerite, Episode 4. And I'll get into that in a moment. So Episode 3 opens up on SMA Season 2. It would have been like Multiverse or Universe SMA S2 2023 kind of a thing, just because that's when I was filming Season 2. And it would have opened up to the song Just Stay, I think by Justin Bieber and somebody else. But Felix is, he's out minding his business, and then Zaya, the anti-hero, she comes along and finds Felix, and she's like, hey, I need to talk to you. You guys are in danger. There is a maniac on the loose, multiversal maniac, and he's killing people, and we need to protect you guys. And she kind of disappears once Siri's like, oh, who are you talking to? And Felix is like, oh, the strange lady. And then there's nobody there, and so like little humor bit there. But then Thyre from the Insurrection Thyre comes in, and he goes, hey, I'm it's very nice to meet you guys. I'm here to protect you, kind of a thing. But and he kind of gives his explanation as to what he's doing. And he's like, I'll be right back. I have to go do some work. And then he teleports away. That's when Zaya, Tim, and Aaron come out, and they're like, hey, we need to talk. And this is the first time on my channel that Sardix's other children were actually introduced. Zaya, Tim, and Aaron are Sardix's daughter and other two sons, and in my canonical storyline. And they're talking to the SMA universe, and they were, like I said, it was basically SMA Season 2.5 with drama in it. And so we get like a lot of SMA humor, but we also get some touching moments, and there's actually canonical storylines. I don't know if it'll show up in this video, but I do plan on making some animation sequences for Insurrection Season 4, probably in my downtime between Season 3 of SMA and Vanguard. So we'll see what happens on that. But they all have touching moments, and at the very end of the episode, once Zaya tells Sardix and Hydrix what exactly is going on, who Insurrection Thyre is and what he's doing, the episode ends with Satrix stepping through a portal and introducing himself to everybody. Episode ends. The next episode goes to an alternate take of the lineup from the end of the original Season 1 of SMA. And I think Satrix chooses Varix instead of Hydrix, and instead of, because I didn't want to make the bat, I didn't want to go through all my parts and grab gears from everybody, Satrix just raises his sword, and then there's a flash of the lineup where he kills Hydrix, and he's like, "What the hell? Like, this is different." And then there's also the one that I used in my Halloween special, which is just straight up Walking Dead audio. He gets flashes from all these different universes. He's like, "Whoa, whoa, what is happening? What is going on?" And he kind of freezes, and everyone sees a weak point. Jackson gets up and goes to him, and then Satrix slits his throat. Ta-da! Another Jackson death. But the whole first half of that episode is just him like pondering. He's like, what is happening? And then he kind of realizes like, oh, there's like some rifts in the multiverse. And the closest one that he can rift to is the SMA universe. So we cut back there, and that's when I think it was three or four new knights that I had built. Like just instead of like the ones that we got in Insurrection season 2, I just made like new ones as if like they, I don't know. It was just an excuse to make more knights and new characters. And they kind of all figure out that like, oh, Insurrection Thyre is the cause of this. And Zaya explains, yes, originally he was going through time jumps and saving you guys. But then he realized Satrix, if you kill Satrix, or you kill Sardix, then you kill Satrix. And then that solves everything at the expense of other versions of himself's fathers. If that wording even made sense. It made sense in my mind, but it didn't make sense when it came out. But before Thyre comes back, Satrix is like, oh, this is another dimension that I could potentially conquer for Zira. And so they get into a huge fight. And this is where some of the SMA stuff comes in. Like, there's a line that Connor says in episode 4 where the whole Spiders episode just seems like one lousy excuse to give Tannerite a power. Well, during the fight, Tannerite unleashes a Viscerak horde on the Knights. It's... I don't know, I really wanted to do that because I think it would have been funny, but also still just a fun fight to do in like, overall. But it does end up getting serious because Ash and Collis do die in the episode, along with a couple others. I don't remember everybody. I think Connor might have died too. But Skekdai is going toe-to-toe with Hydrix, and this also just reminded me, I completely forgot, before they start fighting, Insurrection season 1 Sardix steps in. So I would have had 2 Sardixes coming around, which would have... I think that would have been cool. That's just me, though. But Insurrection Season 1 Sardix sacrifices himself to save SMA Hydrix from Skekdai. And kind of like at the very end of this battle, Insurrection Thyre comes back. And then, the battle's about to heat up again. But then we get the canonical version of Thyre that steps through the portal. It's Zaya, Tim, and Aaron's Thyre. Who would have been voiced by Rondax. And they're all kind of like, hey, you are fucking everything up and we need to stop you. And Satrix kind of sides with his niece and nephews. So it's old crippled Thyre versus young Thyre with his sister and brothers and Satrix. And one of my favorite moments kind of would have been to show off, like, just because he's old and decrepit doesn't mean that he's not a good fighter. And that kind of correlates the reason for, like, the bad half. So again, we had the good half with the with intro 1, and we have the bad half with intro 2. And I'm going to go ahead and play that now just because I kind of got a little sidetracked while carrying on and talking about this. So here is the second intro. Again, we're back on this topic, but I do apologize just because I didn't really plan this video out. It's just something that I wanted to get out, so that's why it's not really planned out. It's all just a jumbled mess. But at the end of the battle, Insurrection Thyre does end up wounding his sisters or his sister and brothers, and then it just goes to toe with the two Thyres. And because at the end of Insurrection Season 3, Thyre meets with Valorix the Gods Demon. He's an old friend of mine. I don't even think he's still doing stuff with Bionicle. But one of the things that I was like, oh, he could something he could have taught Thyre was this thing that I just came up with, was the sight. And Insurrection Season 3, Thyre grabs onto the canonical Thyre and says, I'm going to show you everything. And with some of the footage that you're about to see, it is Insurrection Thyre showing the canonical Thyre what his world has been reduced to. And it was just an excuse to use some of the construction that was going on behind the house I was living in, and just use it to some degree before what I used in SMA Season 2, excuse me. But basically it just comes down to Insurrection Thyre saying like, hey, my world is destroyed. This is the only way that I think I can undo this. And in that final fight, canonical Thyre, like, he's not trying to kill Insurrection Thyre, but I'll just refer to him as CT, canonical Thyre. CT doesn't, he's not trying to kill Insurrection Thyre, but Insurrection Thyre dies due to his negligence. And CT just kind of comes down and kneels beside him, and, you know, he apologizes for anything that, or like, just, he apologizes for everything, and like everything that happened and how it happened. And he says, I'm sorry this happened to you. And Insurrection Thyre just kind of he pulls a mic from Breaking Bad and just says, shut the fuck up and let me die in peace. And he dies there, and CT goes back to the SMA universe, where they're all kind of picking up and just everything from the battle. And Satrix is kind of like, oh, you know, I could still conquer this world if I wanted to. And then that's when CT comes back with his siblings, and they're like, yeah, we're not going to let that happen. You need to go back to your multiverse. And Satrix kind of shrugs. He's like, who knows? I don't know. I just don't feel like doing it, kind of a thing right now. But maybe. It might happen. Who knows? So Satrix with Skektai and the other, the Knights, they leave. And we kind of leave off with the SMA cast thanking CT and his siblings, and just because of like all the touching moments that they had, they like Sardix asks like, oh, are we gonna see you guys again? And both CT and Zaya kind of look at Sardix and they're like, you know, that's entirely up to you. That's not on us, depending on how things go. Obviously referring to Sardix and Hydrix. But it gives Insurrection a much happier ending than I think Season 3 did. It's definitely, without it being written, is my favorite concept-wise. And I think it really would have been a much better season than the previous three, even though Season 3 was only released with scripts. Season 4 was hands down my favorite concept-wise and story and theme-wise, because the whole theme of Insurrection Season 4 is change what you can and accept what you can't. And I'll throw up some of the promo art that I had made at the time that just never really got to see the light of day. But it definitely wasn't the darkest season. I want to say Season 2 and 3 were the darkest. 3 being just a little bit darker. But season 4 was the ending that I wanted to give Insurrection. But I looked at all the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to do Self-Mock Adventures Season 2. And I wasn't so set on a Season 3 at the time. I was debating whether or not I wanted to do that. And Season 3 of SMA is what we're getting instead of Insurrection. And even if I wasn't doing a Season 3 of SMA, I think Insurrection Season 4 probably still wouldn't have happened, just because Insurrection is... At that point, it would have been technically my longest running show, but not something... It's not something that I wanted to keep going. Like with Vanguard's more than likely only going to be a one-off season. Just a different way to kind of show some of my canonical story, even though Vanguard won't be canon, but it's one of those ways to kind of bleed into my canon a little bit, if you will. So I feel like this video, I mean, I wanted to make it just because I wanted to explain it. You know, I wanted the idea and the concepts to be out there. I wanted to show off like some of the stuff that I had put together for like the previously, the trailers, the intros, and any footage that I had, just because I didn't want to just delete it. Just put with whatever effort that I had put into it. I figured you guys should at least get a chance to see it. But with that, I mean, I don't really have too much else to say on this matter, but I still, like I said, I don't think it's going to be in this video, just because I kind of wanted to get this out, but I do really want to make maybe just like a video of like some of the scenes that I really, really wanted to do for season 4 of Insurrection. Like there's one that tells like the whole canon story of Sardix and Hydrix and what happens to them in like after the war, kind of a thing. Zaya and SMA Hydrix are talking, and Zaya explains, like, because Hydrix asks like, oh, what happened between your universe's Sardix and Hydrix, and Zaya explains, you know, it just kind of goes into full detail. I've only got that scene written down in notes, but I really love that scene. There's a moment where SMA Sardix is talking to the middle child of Sardix, like Sardix's son Tim, and it's a very touching moment. And people won't know Tim, but he's very brash and hot-headed. He kind of hates his dad, like my actual canon version of Sardix. I won't explain that here, but he regrets a lot of things in life, and SMA Sardix, he kind of sets him straight. It's very similar to Mr. Silver and God, what's his name from Treasure Planet? Jim. It's very similar to Jim and Mr. Silver. And like I said, like there's a lot of footage that I want to, or at least like just clips from episodes that I want to release. So I'll probably do that in like a separate video or something. But aside from that, I don't really have too much else to talk about on the matter, just because season 4 of Insurrection, it really wasn't anything that I mean, I started writing some of the scripts, but I never got anything like officially done. So for what I do have in the scripts, if I even still have them, because I got to go through that, but I'll look through my my Google Docs, and if there are any scripts, I will link them in the video here, so you guys can go ahead and read what I had written. But other than that, you know, I think that kind of wraps up Insurrection Season 4, the rest of the damn story. So I just want to thank you guys for watching. You know, you guys have been very supportive lately, and helping grow my channel. And I love you guys, and I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope that you guys enjoy. I'm still in production with Season 3 of SMA. Probably looking at if anything, a late summer early winter release. We'll go around that time. So, but yeah, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed me wrapping up Insurrection finally, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.